Hi, and a warm welcome to the Fast, the Furious and the Downright Curious. My name's Phil Lovett, and this is my quest to win an e-cycling race on Zwift. Now today is going to be a bit of a level setter for me, because while I've been training for the last 6 months on Zwift and racing for the last 3, mainly in the excellent Club 3R races, which are scheduled daily, check them out on the Zwift Companion, today is my inaugural race for Zwift on YouTube. So I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Now, this is e-racing. I don't have a directeur sportif. I don't really have much of a strategy, in all honesty. I don't have any tactics, and I've got no teammates. And there's no team bus cranking out the house and the hip hop to get me primed for battle. So over the course of these races, I'm going to be taking a little bit of inspiration from some of my personal bike racing heroes and heroines. And during the warm-ups, I'm going to be getting into character to get me ready for what's to come. So, to the gods of bike racing, I request motivation and inspiration and enlightenment from Il est formidable, il est magnifique, il est Belgique, undisputed boss of the Breakaway. Engage! De Ghent mode. And in honour of the legend that is Mr. Thomas de Ghent, do check him out on Wikipedia and YouTube. I'm going to now don an unnecessarily bling pair of bike racing sunglasses. And yes, I'm fully cognizant of the fact that Lycra indoors is not strictly necessary, but please do indulge me. Just going to have a little warm up with some sort of 250 watt to 300 watt mini endeavours. But obviously not trying to burn myself out. I'm now in the start pen in good time, waiting for the barrier to drop to commence 3R's Greater London Flat Race, which is about 28.5 kilometres. Now 3R is a super nice Zwift community doing some super amazing things. But I'd just like to emphasise that you don't actually have to be a member of Club 3R to partake in their races. You just check out which races are available for the day on Zwift Companion and crack on with the one that suits your needs. Now each race has categories A, B, C and D, and whichever category you're in depends on your power prowess. And your power prowess basically takes your functional threshold power, mine's 287 watts, and divides it by your weight. My current weight is 68 kilograms. And so that gives me a watts per kilo of around about 4.3 watts per kilogram. And so Zwift would then say that enables me to take in category A, which covers anybody that has 4 watts per kilogram to 5 watts per kilogram. The reason being that heavier riders can typically put down a bit more power, but because they're heavier they go a bit slower, whereas lighter riders can put down less power, but because they're lighter, for the same power, they can go a bit faster. And so the way Zwift categorises the race ensures that everybody can take part, whether it's A, B, C or D, in a brutally competitive but fun race. I should add that I often get destroyed by some Cat B riders. So you can see, Zwift is a very broad church and any of us can be in the congregation. A splendid little moonwalk by A. McCosker. You don't see that in the UCI Pro races. And that's me in the middle with the grey hair, blue top, Zwift on the back, and again unnecessary sunglasses in the rain. So we've got about 33 seconds before the barrier raises, and my sole strategy is to try and stay in the kind of premier breakaway group and hang on grimly. And I'll explain why that's important later. But it enables me to go faster basically for less power. We've got 14 seconds to go, and everyone's going to be really ramping up their wattage now to sort of 250, 300 level, because it's going to be a very fast start.
And off we trot. The start's predictably quick, in a 300 to 400 watt range. and I'm looking to kind of deposit myself safely in the Premier Breakaway group.
Now I see on the race that a friend of mine, Lee O'Donnell, you'll see him, Lee O'Donnell B&C, is amongst us. I used to work with Lee, and he's a very fit individual. He's in his 50s. Now I know we're evenly matched because I was meant to have my inaugural race, the Zwift on YouTube, on Saturday, but I forgot to record the in-game footage. That's why I'm doing it again on Monday. Now in that race, Lee turned up unexpectedly, and he dropped me on a third and final lap. But overall, we've got similar weight and similar power to weight, and I'd dearly love to beat Lee.
Now I've allowed myself carelessly to drop off the back, so I'm going to have to invest a little to get back in. And really I'm having to invest a rather lot more than I'd want to, because 450 to 550 watts is a hell of a lot for me, and I'll certainly pay the price later. And here I come, back into the bunch and then straight out the front. Classic. So now, no amount of soft pedaling is going to get my heart rate back down into the low 160s, as everybody now kind of catches back up. Just patting myself on the back, having got the situation back under control, and contemplating getting my heart rate back down towards the low 160s. And then the killer punch, another surge, up into the high 300s, heart rate straight back up, and having to react to it. And that's racing on Zwift. Lots of surges, and you've got to stay with them in order to stay in the sanctuary of the bunch.
Now the reason it's important to stay in the break here is because for my 300 watts, I'm in the kind of 46 to 48 kilometers an hour range, because I'm shielded from the virtual air resistance. Makes a huge difference. Whereas if I was on my own, those same 300 or so watts would translate to about 41 kmh. So being in the bunch and avoiding the full virtual air resistance is a massive bonus. Lose it at your peril.
Nice relaxed 240 to 250. If only that can last another 15 minutes, I might be back at the 160s in terms of heart rate. But no, my competitors are aware of this, and they're keen to see me suffer. And yes, I do learn very slowly as I power onto the mile.
Trying to get my heart rate down. Lee's on my wheel. I've had to quit. I've had to surge a lot to stay in. These guys and girls, they all know what they're doing. It's like a lamb to the slaughter.
13 kilometers in. The riding over the last 4 or 5 has been much easier, and I've got the situation back under control. I'm in the bunch, the Premier Breakaway group, and I've been able to kind of stabilize my heart rate. There's Lee O'Donnell coming up on the left-hand side with his red and yellow stripes. Having to cope with another small surge here. I'm kind of doing the mental maths regarding heart rate versus distance to go. I'm realizing that my glide slope's going to see me fall a tad short of the runway, most likely. And here we are at 14 kilometers. Heart rate still high. And the stronger riders, they send blood. You can see people starting to push the pace a little bit at the spearhead, at the fulcrum here of our little breakaway group. Others are going to start to follow. The pace is going to gradually increase.
Just over halfway. I'm in the front group still, but it's exceptionally hard work.
Desperately trying to stay in the Premier Breakaway group. And no, I do not learn. Straight out the front again, overreacting. Trying to soft pedal the heart rate back down. The swarm comes by. They scent blood. Naturally, mercy is going to be a very scarce resource. And here we have the 3-degree incline, not much of a climb, but the strong riders know this is where it can break the weaker amongst us. And they've called it right. Because now I'm going to tap into some quite deep reserves to try and stay with them. Very much in the knowledge that Thomas again would not allow himself to get dropped out of this group. I have another last big effort here, try and push down the power as much as I can to get back in. I know that if I can make it, it'll be worth the effort, the pain and the suffering. And it's close, but the wattage is really high for me. The heart rate's 183. If I could have clung on for maybe another 15, 20 seconds, I could probably have got back in, but I'm falling out the back now. I'm trying to bring the heart rate down a little bit because I do want to come in at a nice respectable pace, a nice respectable time. I can see on the right hand side there's a few stragglers immediately behind me, and I'm hoping we can form a nice little group to see us back in. And here they come, the cavalry. And a couple more come to join us and form a merry little gruppetto who can work together, shield each other from the air resistance, and gradually encourage each other back up to respectable wattage for the second half of the race.
We're working as a little group to gradually bring back in a couple of stragglers from the front group. I need to do more turns on the front, I think. 8k to go. Done a few turns in the front now. I said I'd make some agonising faces. We've caught the little gruppetto. Bigger team now.
Here we are in a gruppetto, 27.5 kilometres in, about 1.5 kilometres to go. And we've been working together to bring the wattage back up to respectable levels, each taking a turn on the front. No vicious attacks. We all kind of understand the value of sticking together to shield each other from the virtual air resistance. But no, this isn't easy. My heart rate's still in the 180s. And I do want to put in my best possible effort to squeeze out every last inch of training benefit from the second half of this ride. So I want a big finish.
Final kilometre.
Gradually eking the watts back up towards the 300 level. Decided I am going to use my little aero power up as we go back down the mile. And it goes without saying, I don't have a Mark Cavendish style sprint in my back pocket, so I'll probably start winding it up now. By sprint, I mean circa 400 watts at this stage, using the aero boost to try and reel back in the front too. And there we are, there's my watts. Closing in on the 500s, but a couple of others are going to get me right at the line.
Emotional. Well, that was extremely tough. And my face is so contorted that the facial recognition on my iPad won't even recognise my own face. So I'm having to tap in my passcode to get it back in. Anyway, for the aficionados of watts and revolutions and beats per minute, please download Zwift Companion and follow me, and you can check out all my data at your leisure from the comfort of your sofa. As I'm scrolling through now to demonstrate. You can see, over the race, 28.5 kilometres, I averaged 278 watts, which is okay, I'm fairly happy with that. But clearly, a huge amount of room for improvement. And to Thomas again, I'm sorry I butchered your reputation. So, taking a very quick look at the race results, within the Cat A's, I came a rather loathsome 14th out of 17, a full 2 minutes 18 seconds down on the winner, but I averaged 278 watts and 4.1 watts a kilogram, so that's a decent base to work with. But taking a very quick look at the Cat B's, I see that the forever young Lee O'Donnell won the Cat B's, averaging 281 watts and 4 watts a kilogram. He came in a full 1 minute ahead of me. So I've got a whole ton of work to do to beat Lee, let alone win a Cat A. This has been Bike Racing Without Mercy. I've been Phil Race3R Lovett and shown very little mercy indeed. But whoever you are, and whatever you do, please remember to live, thrive, and subscribe.